Hello everyone, Joy Reviews here, and this is a review of the Power Rangers Legacy 6.5-inch figures Wave 1. So this is a new line of figures that Bandai is beginning for the Power Rangers franchise, and basically, they incorporate elements from Figuarts with the style of the Marvel Legends figures. These are now in a new scale, which is 6.5, which differentiates from the normal 5-inch scale. And so for the first wave over here, we have 5 Rangers in total, which will be the total for each wave. However, instead of doing one straight team, Bandai has decided to mix and match teams. So we have the red and green Mighty Morphin Rangers, and the 3 Wind Rangers from Ninja Storm. Each figure includes a Megazord piece, so that when you have all of the figures for a certain team, you can combine their Megazord, and you can have it standing alongside the Rangers in your collection. So, let's get on with this review.
So first, let's start off with the Mighty Morphin figures. Now, to get this out of the way, the Red Ranger does come with the torso for the Megazord over here, as part of the Build the Megazord line. Which basically, each figure from the core team will come with a piece or two of the Megazord, and when you have all 5 of the figures, or all 3 in Ninja Storm's case, you'll be able to combine them into the team's Megazord, which slightly towers over them, and it's a pretty nice display piece. But the only articulation here so far is that you could turn the head 360, and you could put the head up and down in a way. So sort of like how in Zyuranger, Daijujin will look down on Geki when talking to him. So let's put that back over there. And let's start with the Red Ranger, since I've already mentioned him, and well, red is everyone's favorite color in Power Rangers basically. So over here we have the Red Ranger, and basically for the head articulation, which we'll start with that, you can turn the head 360. Let me put it back so you can see it. You can nod it up and down. You have a nice ab crunch over here, which you could be able to extend in case he's getting punched in the jaw, or you could retract in case he just got hit in the groin. And for the arms over here, you could turn the arm over here. You could extend the arm outward, not really in a T position, but hey, it still works. You could go over here to the cuffs and twist them. And you could go over to the hands and twist them as well. Which the hands over here do actually work in a sort of Figuarts-like style, as we'll see with the Green Ranger. And you can see that all the details over here are very nicely painted, so great job, Bandai. And you can see the legs over here, you can extend them so that you could kick someone in the face. Or there's a double jointed knee over here, so that you could do a sort of Captain Falcon knee kick. And the foot over here actually has some articulation, as you see over here. And so does the cuff. So that's basically it for the Red Ranger in terms of articulation, and the articulation does apply for everyone else except for Ninja Storm Blue, since she's a female, she has a different mold. However, we get to the bad part about Mighty Morphin Red. You see, he's sort of like the black sheep of this wave because of his accessories. Now, people have complained, oh, he doesn't come with the power sword. But I haven't complained about that too much. The reason Mighty Morphin Power Rangers became so popular was because of the use of martial arts on a kids show. And you can still grab the sword from the Arm and Might figure, or heck, even from the Super Legends figure, and put it into the Red Ranger over here. And he only comes with these 2 accessories. The holster over here, and the Blade Blaster. In holster mode. Like, if they weren't going to include the power sword, at least put in the Blade Blaster in sword mode and in gun mode. Like, this is a very tiny piece that I'm going to have to zoom in. And you can see over here that it is very tiny, so I don't think Bandai would have had a problem packing in 2 more of these with the figure. So that's basically it with the Red Ranger. And now for the Green Ranger, you could see that he does include the Sword of Darkness. And if I'm correct, this is the first time out of the Figuarts line that he does include the Sword of Darkness, and it looks amazing. Yes, it does bend a bit, but you could just bend it back, and if that doesn't work, use a heat gun or something. But you can see over here, it is very nicely detailed. And so you can put it back on his hand. And the other two accessories he comes with are the Dragon Dagger and the holster. So you could have him holding the Dragon Dagger as well. Which is nice, because many people complain about the Green Ranger's lack of weapons in the show, considering he loses the Sword of Darkness after being freed from Rita's control. But over here you can dual wield the weapons, and it looks pretty nice. Now you may be asking, where's Tommy's Build-A-Figure piece? Well, he doesn't have any. However, he does have these two hands over here, which, if you see over here, what do they remind you of? Figuarts hands. However, I'm just going to show you a picture over here, considering putting on the hands on screen is a real pain in the butt. The other day I spent like 20 minutes just trying to put the hands on, taking them off and then putting them on, because the thing is, these hands go in easily, however the other hands are a bit different. And what you could do with these hands is basically put him in the position where he's playing his Dragon Dagger. So that's basically it for the Mighty Morphin figures. So now, let's get on with the Ninja Storm figures. So over here are the 3 Wind Rangers from Ninja Storm, red, blue, and yellow. And now to get this out of the way, you can see that each of them comes with a sword, which here are the other two over here, but to take a look at one of them, you can see that they're very nicely painted. The silver blade over here, the gold, the red, the black square over here, even though they're missing the kanji that goes on the black square and the silver buttons, everything else is pretty nicely painted, so great job, Bandai. And now for the figures over here, the sword is one of the accessories they come with, and the other accessory is the back piece, which, let me show you over here. And yes, you can detach it in order to make the cannon mode in the show. However, people have a problem with this, considering the fact that you can't take out the sword from here, which I understand, considering that the black piece over here is actually part of their outfit, similar to how ninjas would grab swords from their backs. And being able to take this off would actually help, so it doesn't look weird when the ranger's holding the sword and this is in the sheath at the same time. However, I like to think of it as a sort of backup sword. That's basically the excuse I have. But still, these figures are very nicely painted. You can see the sort of gray over here, which was always an interesting part of the design because it looks like the suits are something over something else they're wearing. You can see that the belt is painted for the most part, except for the red line, which I would understand considering it really doesn't fit in with the rest of the costume. You can see over here the legs, the hands over here, which I don't know if we're going to get any more hands. And yeah, that's basically it for the Ninja Storm figures. They have the same articulation as the normal figures. However, I'm going to grab Tori here for a second to show you the female articulation. Now the female articulation is quite the same. You can twist the arm. You can... No, I don't think you can for the cuff. Like, actually yeah you can, because you could twist the brace into any position, so if it comes like this in the packaging, and then people are like, oh, it's the wrong way, you could just go, whoop, there, stop spending on figure arts. Over here you can see the Wind Morpher, which is actually painted very nicely. And you can see the symbol over here. The females still do have the ab crunch. Same thing with the head. 360, up and down. And over here, the major difference between this and the 5-inch figures for the females is that these actually have slits in the skirts in order for you to stretch out the legs. You can't put them forward or backward that much, but if you can put them to the side, hey, you could do some kicking moves like this, for example. But yeah, it's a nice feature that Bandai finally listened to the fans and they put in slits in the skirts, because for my Dino Charge Pink figure, I actually had to cut the slits into my figure. And it looked kinda bad. And I'm glad that for the Ninja Steel figures, which just got announced at the time of me recording this, actually have slits in them for the skirts. And that's basically it, because the females share most of the articulation that the males have. And let me put this over here. And you could get these guys in a lot of great poses actually. And now, the thing is, you may be asking, well, where are the Thunder Rangers? Bandai didn't release them in this wave. So you may be asking, well, how did you form Storm Megazord? Let's find out. So over here is Storm Megazord, or Senpujin, how they call them in Japan. And the way that you were able to assemble this guy is kind of different from what the normal Build a Megazord thing is going on right now. Where basically for 5 Rangers in the core team, you would get 5 pieces in order to attach to the Megazord. However, since there are only 5 figures per wave and Bandai didn't want to make it all Ninja Storm wave, and they wanted to complete one of the Megazords in the first wave, what they decided to do is that Tori would come with the dolphin arm and the left leg, and Dustin would come with the lion arm and the right leg, and then Shane would just come with the chest piece over here. So over here is basically Storm Megazord, and it works a bit differently in articulation. If you actually zoom in over here, which let me lower the figure, you can see that there is a sort of extension over here for the lion arm to go into. And let me go back. And the articulation here works a bit differently. Since they're basically mostly on ball joints, you can turn the head 360 and, oh, I didn't know these pieces could come off. I just figured this out right now. Haha, what a surprise. Like, you could turn 360, let me see. Oh yeah, you actually can take off the other one. Wow. Like, I seriously did not know this before going into this review. You can bend the legs over here in a knee position. Whoops. But don't try to do a high up kicking position because the ball joint will loosen. And here's the problem. This part is very tough. However, the knees over here are fairly weak, and I've seen this with most other reviews. So you put that back in. You even have articulation on the foot considering it's a ball joint. The hands over here you can move. Wait, can you? Yeah, there it is. Hand articulation. Though I don't know if we're going to get any other hands for the Storm Megazord considering the hands are closed in. And considering what we saw with the San Diego exclusive figure for the Red Ranger in the Legacy line, that he came with the Megazord's Power Sword, and supposedly the Megazord is supposed to be able to hold it. However, I don't know if they're going to do extra hands for that because I'm afraid the Dino Megazord might have the closed hands just like the Storm Megazord. And yeah, that's basically it. And you may be like, oh, there are some missing paint details. But that's mostly on the arms. What I like is that they sacrifice some paint for the arms in order to give it to the chest over here, which you can see the H logo and you can see the Hawkzord fully painted. I just like that because when you look at the Megazord, what mainly grabs your eye's attention is the centerpiece. Not really as much the arms, but the chest piece over here. And it's very nice that they decided to focus there instead of the arms. Because the arms, you can only really look at them fully if you turn the Megazord to the side. And yeah, that's basically it for the Storm Megazord figure, that the pieces come with the Ninja Storm figures. And that's it for this review. So, what did I think of these figures? Let's get to my final thoughts.
So overall, these Legacy figures are amazing, and I would highly recommend them if you're a Power Rangers fan. The articulation here is possibly the best articulation we have ever gotten in any Power Rangers figure. And I really like how they took inspiration from the Marvel Legends figures. The paint apps are spot on, and even though there are some lack of weapons, I'm pretty sure we'll get them sometime soon. The Build a Megazord feature is actually pretty nice as well. And it harkens back to, again, Marvel Legends, where every figure brings a piece, and then you could create one big figure. Except here, it's the Megazord for the team, and it looks very nice. And the paint detail in the Megazord is pretty nice, and it actually requires you to get entire teams. And I know people are gonna be like, oh, this isn't figure arts. I want to compare them with figure arts. These guys do things that are better than figure arts, and sometimes not on as par as figure arts, but you're paying a lot less for these guys. Depending who your middleman is, you'll probably have to pay like $100 per figure art. But these guys are just $20 per figure. So if you want to stick with your figure arts, fine, but in my opinion, this line is amazing, and Bandai, you have definitely gotten me invested on this line. I'm Hulu Toy Reviews, and I'm signing off. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, and Tumblr. You could click on the top to check out the previous review or the next review. Thanks for watching, and make sure to have a super mega dino charged day. Well, see you guys next time.